The first time someone told me my CEO was too old for love, I laughed along with them. I wish I hadn't. Her name was Evelyn Hart, and at 58, she ran our tech company with a calm authority that made 20-something managers tremble. She wore silver in her hair like a crown, never trying to hide it. In an industry obsessed with youth, she was an outlier, brilliant, composed, and according to office gossip, married to the job. I believed that too. Until the day I saw her sitting alone in the break room, quietly fixing the old coffee machine herself. No assistants. No announcements. Just her, sleeves rolled up, determined to make sure the night shift team had something warm during a brutal winter storm. "Facilities will handle it," I said awkwardly. "They're home with their families," she replied softly. "These people are here because of me." That was the first crack in the image I had of her. Over the next few weeks, I started noticing things: how she remembered the receptionist's son's name, how she personally funded an employee's emergency surgery without ever taking credit, how she stayed late not for profit margins, but for people. Somewhere between board meetings and late-night project deadlines, admiration turned into something deeper. Something dangerous. Because falling for your CEO is complicated. Falling for a woman the world insists is past her prime. That's terrifying. But the truth was becoming impossible to ignore. She wasn't too old for love. I tried to convince myself it was just admiration. Respect. Gratitude. But admiration doesn't make your heart race when she says your name. It started the night everything went wrong. A major investor pulled out. Social media was tearing us apart. Half the executive team panicked. I expected Evelyn to retreat into strategy mode, cold, analytical, untouchable. Instead, she did something no one saw coming. She called an all-hands meeting at 9 p.m. Not to blame anyone. Not to threaten layoffs. To apologize. "I take responsibility," she said, standing in front of 200 anxious employees. "If we fail together. And if we rebuild together." No corporate script. No PR polish. Just raw honesty. Then she announced she was cutting her own salary to protect entry-level jobs. That's when I saw it, the room shift. Fear turned into loyalty. Doubt turned into belief. And something inside me shifted too. After the meeting, I found her alone in the conference room, staring at the city lights. For the first time, she looked tired. Not weak, just human. "You didn't have to do that," I said. "Yes, I did," she replied quietly. "Leadership isn't about being impressive. It's about being responsible." There was a softness in her voice I hadn't heard before. Not the CEO. Not the legend. Just Evelyn. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. The world saw her age. I saw her courage. The world saw the lines on her face. I saw the years of sacrifice behind them. And for the first time, I wasn't afraid of what people would say. I was afraid of how deeply I was already falling. After that night, I couldn't stop noticing her, the little things no one else seemed to see. The way she stayed after hours just to teach a junior developer a coding trick. The quiet laughter she shared with the office dog. The handwritten notes she left on someone's desk when they were having a rough day. One evening, I caught her walking through the parking lot in the rain, carrying sandwiches for the overnight security staff. I wanted to tell her she didn't have to, but the words stuck in my throat. She didn't notice me. She never did when she was being kind. It wasn't for recognition, it was for people. Then came the surprise that shook me completely. A sudden family emergency forced one of our team members to fly home immediately. Evelyn didn't just approve the time off. She personally drove the employee to the airport, stayed to help pack their things, and even organized a replacement for their shift. Watching her, I realized I was witnessing something rare, a human being whose empathy had no limits. And my heart, stubborn, reckless, and utterly unprepared, kept reminding me, love doesn't follow rules, and it certainly doesn't care about age. I tried to fight it. I told myself I should admire her from afar, keep things professional, respect boundaries. But every time I saw her, my chest tightened. Every smile, every selfless act, every quiet moment of patience, it all drew me closer. I was falling for my CEO, yes. But more than that, I was falling for the humanity she showed every single day. And somewhere, deep down, I knew this wasn't just a crush. It was a reckoning. A lesson in courage, compassion, and the kind of love that refuses to be defined by what the world says is acceptable. The question wasn't whether I could love her. The question was whether I could be brave enough to tell her. The turning point came unexpectedly, during one of our late-night strategy sessions. The office was empty, the city outside glimmering like scattered stars. I was reviewing numbers, trying to focus, when she leaned against the table, watching me with that calm, knowing look. "You've been quiet," she said softly. "I'm just thinking," I murmured, though my heart was racing for reasons entirely unrelated to spreadsheets. She smiled, a small, almost secretive smile, and for a moment, I forgot the world outside this room existed. There was no CEO here, no powerful woman running a company, just Evelyn. Just her. Then, she did something that surprised even me. She shared a story I never expected, about her first failed startup, the personal sacrifices she'd made, the heartbreaks she'd endured. And as she spoke, I saw the vulnerability behind her strength, the loneliness behind her courage. For the first time, I realized the rumors about her age didn't matter. They never had. She wasn't defined by years. She was defined by the life she'd lived, the people she'd helped, the love she gave in ways the world barely noticed. And in that moment, everything clicked. All the admiration, all the respect, all the quiet awe I'd been feeling, suddenly it had a name: love. I reached out, almost instinctively, and she didn't pull away. Just for a heartbeat, we were two humans, standing in an empty office, sharing something the world might never understand. That night, I realized the truth. Falling for her wasn't a mistake. It wasn't forbidden. It was inevitable. Because love isn't about age. It's about courage. About kindness. About recognizing something rare and beautiful and refusing to let it go. And sometimes, the person who changes your life isn't who the world expects you to fall for. It's the one who shows you what real love looks like. After that night, everything shifted. The office felt different, not because the work changed, but because we had changed. I saw her not as the untouchable CEO, but as someone profoundly human, someone capable of love, compassion, and vulnerability. It wasn't easy. The world outside our office windows still whispered about age, status, and propriety. Every glance, every rumor, every sideways comment reminded me how unconventional this was. But inside, in the quiet moments, the shared laughter over late-night coffee, the brief touch on the arm during a tense meeting, the way she confided in me without pretense, I discovered a truth the world often misses: love doesn't obey rules. One evening, during a company celebration, I watched her help a young intern untangle a personal crisis. She didn't just give advice, she held their hand, listened, stayed late, and didn't expect a single word of gratitude. And in that moment I felt it clearly: her kindness wasn't performative. It was who she was. That's when I understood why I fell for her. It wasn't just her intelligence, her poise, or even her courage. It was the way she made everyone feel seen, valued, and safe. The way she carried the weight of the world without letting it crush the people around her. The way she loved quietly, deeply, fiercely. And I realized something else. Love isn't about fitting a mold or meeting society's expectations. It's about embracing someone fully, even when the world doubts them. So yes, I fell for my CEO. And yes, the world might call it unconventional. But love like this, kind, selfless, human, changes everything. Because in the end, what matters isn't age, or status, or fear. It's courage, compassion, and the willingness to let your heart see what the world refuses to notice. Sometimes, love chooses the brave, not the expected.